Hello YouTube, I Fix It All here, Team I Fix It All. This is kind of an old topic I've been wanting to um, run through some technical minds on. Um, as of lately, I just haven't made time to, it's like one of those back burner things. What I've got here is an artistic rendition. I tried to draw this socket on here, but I didn't. I made it a 6-point instead of a 12. Let's see if that is 12. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 12-point socket. Just so I could maintain the integrity of what I was trying to illustrate as far as interior design of the socket as you look into the end of it. This taper, that's always bugged me. This taper going inward, and the wear and tear each one of these points receives as the socket wears down, especially on a 12-point socket. And then also assessing the hardware. And I got 2 pieces of hardware here. But if you'll notice on the hardware, the nuts themselves are not the walls the socket grabs a hold of is skinnier. This would be a point. That would be a point. And that would be a point of the nut. But this would be the full width of the nut. And in this case, this particular nut measures 0.625 in full diameter. But yet, this line here shows me the width of the physical part that the socket grabs a hold of right here. This is for this type of nut, by the way. The vast majority of nuts are like this. There are some fancy schmancy ones out there. Some like this guy, which is more exaggerated, rounded on this side, but more squared off on this side. But there happens to be a pad on this nut. Most all of your hardware, your nuts are going to be like this. They're going to be jacked up corners, even brand new, just brand new. This isn't wear, it's just the way it is. And so when you do the math by saying, oh boy, I don't even know if I'm making full contact or not. Well, you are making full contact as long as everything is brand damn new. Because with that nut flush, sorry about that, with that nut flush to its mounting surface, it's going to make contact. But the disadvantage here is wear and tear on your socket. And what I've got going on here is, and I'm going to try to get that light to reflect it. That's a good spot right there. You can see that there's a brighter spot right there. And as I continue over, you'll notice, look at this as a whole triangle. So it's all bright and shiny right now. But yet if I rotate a little bit, you'll be able to see a new little triangle spot light up. That's the wear on the very corner of the socket, the lower corner. So if we do some basic math here and say, okay, what is the depth of this roundiness here? I just measured this socket here, and I come up for this 1 1/8 inch socket. I came up with a manufacturer's depth of 90 thousandths of an inch. Now, interestingly enough, if you do the math over here and you say, well, if I'm dropping that socket on there, I've got wiggle room. If that's dropping in 90 thousandths of an inch, then I must be okay, because I'm grabbing the full sidewall. What we're not accounting into is the wear and tear. I just measured this right here, the wear and tear I've got. Let me see if I can find one spot that shows a good lighting on. Let me wipe it off too, maybe. Maybe there's some grunge on there. Oh yeah, let's see. I'll try to find one here. The whole damn socket is pretty worn right through that whole area. Let's try that. Hopefully you guys can see the wear and the difference in the shiny. And then the whole triangle lights up. There's one that shows quite a bit of wear. I was coming up with a minimum of 50 thousandths wear here. And that really starts tapping into your contact surface, because 0.625, hang on, 0.625 minus 0.475, I could have done that in my head, is 150 thousandths. But 150 thousandths gets shared by both sides, so I'll divide by 2. Divided by 2 is 0.075, 75 thousandths of an inch. If I've got 90 thousandths worth of drop here, and I've probably got that illustrated wrong. I believe I do. Let me fix that. There we go. And I want to actually go like that. Yeah. And like that. Yeah, there we go. That's the sharp corner. This is not. What I mean is the part that matters on a socket. There's a good, decent, shiny spot that shows up from wear and tear. You can see it remains real shiny right here on the point. And then as you rotate it, you can see the total triangle. But the wear and tear part's really showing up. So that comes up to be about 50 thousandths of an inch. If you take off 50 thousandths, you're at 40 thou. Depending on your wear and your tear of your socket, you're going to have a compromised situation going on. My point of this video is I think we should be grinding off these sockets to get them flush to right here. Right there. Grind the sockets down. And where it's going to make a lot of difference is on these. These kinds of nuts here. Now, just intuitively, if you look at the socket's design and all of the taper going on, you know that when you set this nut on there, oh, let's not even do that one, wrong size. When you put the nut in there, you're not getting full surface contact because your nut is tapered. I'm going to speculate that, yeah, it's still right around 24-25% of surface contact is missing. On this application, if I ground this socket down and made it flush all the way down to here, I'm going to have 100% contact. And then as my socket, maybe if I slipped a few times and it looks like I could repair it, I could just regrind it again and keep the lifespan going. So I'm going to grind this socket down. Actually, I'll grind this one down. Be right back. Hang tight. So here's that same socket, and I have ground it down. I've given myself a little bit of a bevel there. I wish all my sockets were beveled like some of the impacts. I've got very few impacts. I really can't appreciate when a socket has that bevel on the exterior, because sometimes your hardware is recessed into like a cast iron set of heads or something. But now this is what I've got. I've basically brought that entire grabby wall to the very end of the socket. I've gotten rid of this entire area right here. Therefore, no matter what nut I'm grabbing a hold of, I'm all the way, the sidewall of the socket is grabbing the full sidewall of the nut. And in this case, what I've done is I've basically sort of rejuvenated the socket somewhat. I've gotten rid of the worn edges. I'm actually now able to drop the nut deeper into the socket and grab a fresher section of the socket that's probably never been bothered before. And and plus this will give me the ability to monitor. I can just at a glance tell when I see my corners start to wear down, to just take it back over to the grinder again, put it on an extension, and just sit there and spin away. And I could take it down maybe 20 thousandths or so. In this case, I just took it down 90 thousandths on this socket. And I had like, what I measured was 50 thousandths worth of wear on one of those corners. So that's the end of the video here. Is, do we want to do this to our sockets? I like this, especially when you run into these sockets, because now if you look at it, it's pretty darned obvious that I'm getting full grab on the sidewall of that nut. I don't know what these nuts are called. I think they're called shouldered nuts. I didn't grind this one down yet, and I can. It's pointless, really. But yeah, I'm going to probably end up doing this to all my sockets over the course of time. I've got a few I had to do this to because of a situation. I don't know what it was, but I've got several sockets that show evidence that I had to do that. And maybe this isn't a bad idea. Comment if you want to chime in or not. All right, guys, have a great day. We shall see you. Bye.